All right, just to preface, I don't mean I'm gonna start dropping calisthenics or anything like that. I'm still gonna do calisthenics every day. I'm just kind of gonna be shifting gears to a point to where how I train. So I'll be going back to kind of like a upper lower split. And I'll be kind of in a way taking a bodybuilding approach. Just by doing like standard sets and reps. I still will do high volume calisthenics, in between those usual workouts or regular workouts, I would say. And I'll be throwing in weights, of course, just to kind of get the areas that, like, just doing your body weight can't really get to, just for more precise, targeting. Here I'm doing a behind the neck press, which is going to be very good for your shoulders, so your medial delt, and then help with like shoulder stability and mobility. So this one movement here does a lot, and I'm not doing like a bunch of weight. I'm just doing lightweight. But my reasoning for kind of wanting to shift gears, so this might like, it's not gonna make sense at first, but kind of think of it as like this, right? I want to be able to have the opportunity to make more money, and I have to put myself in those situations, right? And ways to put yourself in those situations is to, or at least one way, right, through your physical self, is to be jacked. So you want to be very physically domineering, just big in general. Now, it's not like I'm a skinny little guy. I have a good amount of muscle on me, but I want to start kind of really trying to pack on. And I guess you could say I'm trying to enter like a bulking phase or whatever. But I'm definitely going to be prioritizing exercises that would build a lot of mass around my body. This way, it's like, when I build, when the muscle does end up like, coming on, packing on, I can kind of be seen as like, oh man, that guy's big. What does he do? Maybe, I can approach him and stuff like that and ask him. And I kind of got like this whole idea from this video I watched some time ago. Can't remember the name of the guy though, but it just came up on my feed, and he was like saying like, or the title of the video was like, getting jacked will like make you successful or something like that. And he was just saying how like he's had access to like a lot of like business opportunities just based on like how he looks. If he's in the gym or he's out in public, people will approach him asking him like, how does he get to where he is? And then like, he has like rich businessmen that like want to be around him because they want to get advice from like how he trains and stuff like that. And then this way you can kind of use it as leverage, without even having to do anything besides, of course, put effort into your appearance. But it's like you don't have to go out and like, go out of your way to approach people or make people see the value in you. People will inherently see the value in you, just on the way you look, and your physical size, at least as a man, in terms of like muscularity and your physique, that can play a huge role in it, because just being fit, being lean or toned or whatever, that and you can see it through your clothes, especially if you can see it through your clothes and you've done it naturally, that can send a lot of signals, without even having to say a single word. It shows that you're hardworking. It shows that you're dedicated to something. It shows that you're disciplined. It shows that you probably make like, overall better decisions, because it might mean that you probably eat healthy, or it might mean that, you're willing to do the hard work when it's not granted of you, or, when it's not necessary to do, that you go above and beyond, and that you pay attention to details, and that you care, right? Because especially if you're building up your body in specific ways, to kind of reach a certain like aesthetic build. So I just kind of want to go on this jactified journey. I mean, I've always like, wanted to be jacked in general, but it's just like the way I was training with calisthenics, it was more enjoyable for me. And it's not like I'm gonna let that go. I'm still gonna do the high volume like I mentioned, but I'm just going to be doing a lot more kind of like training just to build general mass in general. And then another thing too is that I'll more than likely be incorporating just more like weight training, or more implementation with weights, just so like, just adding load is going to be a lot easier. But a lot of calisthenics movements will probably be just body weight. I might do some weighted movements here and there, depending on how I feel. With this, I just did an overhead press variation. I could have done like wide pike push-ups, but most of the time, with my current like mobility and my strength, I can really only manage half range of motion. And then, my mobility also gets in the way. So of course my mobility, I'm gonna have to work on that separately. But it's like, I don't have to go through the hassle of all of those things if I'm going to be using some weight implementations. And then of course I can like see the number of like how much weight I put on there. So I can see the progress go up without me just kind of like thinking about, what weight it is, right? Depending on my body weight, depending on, which movement I'm doing. I'm in no way trying to downplay calisthenics or anything like that. Still think calisthenics is just a great and amazing and fun way, honestly, to exercise and to work out. But it's like, of course, why not combine, the best of both worlds and get the ultimate physique, But I'm still definitely going to focus on, calisthenics, right? It's not like one day I'm going to have a workout where I only lift weights, right? And if it seems like that, it'll probably be movement that, like, is considered calisthenics and is also considered weighted calisthenics, such as like the barbell squat, right? That, some people won't recognize that to be weighted calisthenics for whatever reason, but it definitely is. And yeah, like I said, kind of like wanting to bulk, definitely want to try and gain some weight. Currently, I'm around 170, 172, last time I checked, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely just want to try and do a gradual build-up. In terms of like food intake and stuff like that, I've definitely changed my views on like, I don't have to eat so much all the time, but just kind of like, be careful as to how I eat and what I eat. So that way I'm not like destroying my health or whatever the case may be. Because like, not only am I trying to grow my muscles, but I'm trying to grow my intellect as well. But yeah, like I said, like I mentioned before, in this kind of, being more jacked, not saying calisthenics alone won't get you jacked, but if I want to get optimal results, right? I know that like, I don't train the most optimally, but I want to get optimal results in a relatively shorter amount of time. It's still going to take years upon years, right? But in a relatively shorter amount of time to where it's more noticeable sooner, then, those whatever opportunities can come close. Now, I'm not saying like, I'm going to rely like wholly and fully on my physical appearance to get me anywhere in life. You definitely shouldn't just rely on that. You should, of course, build up a bunch of other skills. And that's also what I'm doing, like, in the background, in the midst of this, right? It's just that I'm, like, basically increasing my leverage, right? So that way my output of effort doesn't have to be that much, over time. And, because, like, when you start working for things, working for something, it's kind of like, as if the universe or God or whatever the case may be, you kind of end up coming across people and opportunities that get you closer to those things because you've provided a way for yourself to get there, right? And just being physically fit is a way to get to whichever, opportunities that will increase your resources, increase your success, increase your skill set, increase your workflow, whatever the case may be, your network and your net worth. So yeah, that's just kind of like my thought process on, why I'm basically going to be doing more curls and more weight training, in general. But yeah, I definitely want to make sure I try and stay consistent. That's probably one thing. Like, I always like to jump around with stuff, but I'm definitely going to have to make sure I stay consistent. And of course, I'm still going to do some high volume calisthenics stuff, like, on my rest days and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll fill you guys in, as videos keep coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. See you guys in the next one.